Could be Jinx, an incredibly strong first pick, right? Very standard.
Yeah, she's alright. Pretty good.
Yeah, she's reasonable.
Oh.
Nautilus, though. Oh, he's got an anchor. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, really interesting one to see a first pick Nautilus, right? We don't often see that much priority on it. We definitely see it prioritized in terms of the support's ability to shut down likes of Aphelios, the likes of Zeri as well. But an interesting first pick adaptation. So now, I guess the thought process is there's 3 valuable AD carries open and available. They're clearly not too bothered about which they get. So happy to trade off in that regard. Looks like IG not even going for the Jinx themselves. They're going to commit to the Aphelios. And in this situation, you could take a support here if you want something specifically to answer. Thresh could be something, or you could look to prioritize the jungle if you want that Xin Zhao again. It is on the cards.
Zhao could be available for Shun. That Nidalee we talked about did get banned. Could go for something like a Rek'Sai as well. Rek'Sai has been sort of sneaking into the meta a little bit, but the Hecarim is going to be the decision here for Shun. Wants to be able to start fights, be a big frontline, but also be a big engaged tool for his team.
Yeah, and a big threat for the Jinx, right? That JDG are eyeing up, considering taking the dive potential definitely there. I feel like JDG, good chance they just lock this in, and then probably a jungler here to match up against Shun. Or you could mix things up and go in a different direction. If there's a particular standout sort of mid lane pick you would want here and now, could potentially take that. Something that can contest priority, maybe even leaning towards something like Twisted Fate themselves. Although I feel like with the Jinx in hand, you might want something that can just sort of help peel for effective like the Victor, but going a completely different direction. Actually going for the Gragas here. So top lane pick for 369, pretty safe, blind, and can handle all the matchups. And it also means IG are in this uncomfortable spot where, you know, you can pick a support to match the Nautilus, you can pick a top laner to match the Gragas, or you can go in a completely different direction. It looks like they're going to match pound for pound and go for the Jayce, something that can definitely apply a ton of pressure onto that Gragas in the early levels and scales exceptionally well.
And it's a carry for Zika as well. He's going to be able to take over that lane, be able to get a lot of damage down early on. And 369, you know, very proficient on this Gragas, very likely to go towards that tank Gragas as well against the Jayce, but he is going to have a hard time on that top side. And Kanavi, known for ganking that top lane early on, we'll see if he is going to try and influence that lane, try and shut down Zika before he can get rolling. But now, towards the bans, IG going to start off banning away that Victor.
Yeah, so eliminating one of these great picks that not only is a strong backline threat and provides priority, but also works well with the Jinx. If anyone tries to get close to Jinx, you can just absolutely annihilate them. JDG banning away the Carly, and again, things that can help IG dive and get on top and deal with the AD carry, which is going to be a relevant threat in the later stages. Opting for this Xin Zhao now, so thinning out the jungle pool just a little bit towards JDG. And we'll see what they opt for this final ban. If they do go for the mid, I can honestly see a support pick, like maybe the Leona, you know, being able to follow up on the Hecarim quite effectively, but we'll see if they go in that direction.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It might just be another mid lane pick taken away. The Rise already gone, but maybe the Twisted Fate. But Syndra actually can be taken away from Yuekai. It does mean now the blind pick coming on through from the side of IG. They've already got their top laner. They need a support, and they need a mid lane.
I feel like, honestly, Orianna could be an okay blind if you're going to pick it here. We've seen it picked up quite heavily. Really syncs well with the Hecarim for diving in. But, you know, we did talk about the Leona before. I feel like in terms of providing that engaged threat, it works very effectively. And I guess it does mean you get to eye up what JDG are going to pick for their composition. I think the Viego honestly works okay with the reset potential of the Jinx. Definitely means you can snowball fights, and Kanavi had a great game on it in that game 1.
It's going to be Graves locked in here. I have to assume that's for Kanavi. But maybe it's a Gragas jungle.
It's a double flex, right? It could go either way. I feel like Graves jungle, Gragas top is what we are more likely to see, but Graves jungle isn't exactly super common either, right? We've had, I think, 2 games of it so far. We've had 1 Gragas jungle game, so neither really seen too much. And IG will eventually just pick up that Twisted Fate that we talked about that they had last game, so they now have that advantage in terms of the roaming pressure, but they are dealing with the Vex, who obviously is a bit of a troublesome unit in the mid lane. And remember, reset potential in fights, right? I feel like for IG, they have the long range poke from that Jayce. They have great engage potential. If they can get on top of the likes of the Jinx or the Graves, fantastic. But the second resets start coming in for Yagao, for Hope, that's where JDG find momentum.
Yeah, they've still got resets, just on different champions here for game number 2. And Yagao, this will be his first game of Vex in professional play. So I'm excited to see what Yagao can bring to the table there from the mid lane. I'm curious how this one's going to go, because once again, with that Twisted Fate in the mid lane, IG have to do that same thing that they tried to do last time, right? They need to look for an early lead. They need to try and snowball this game. Whether or not that's going to be whether or not that's going to be possible, sorry, is a different question entirely. Zika could certainly be the lane that they try and focus on, but it's a similar story for JDG, where a little bit better scaling, I would say, plenty of opportunity to roam with that Vex.
Honestly, I feel like in scaling, it's a bit of a difficult one to call, because Jayce scales pretty exceptionally. I know Gragas, it's like the champions do different things, right? But both hold up pretty well in the later stages. Obviously, Jinx does cause a massive issue in the later stages. That is definitely someone who, if she gets fed later, will be a problem. But it's kind of interesting to see how things pan out with the Graves. One thing is that I remember, like, early last year, we had that Hecarim Udyr meta, right? And one of the things Udyr could do was just like power farm, invade constantly, end up massively ahead of the Hecarim. Now, we have had nerfs to the jungle and things like catch-up XP mean you can't get as much of a lead. But I really think Kanavi in this Grave, like, if you get ahead, you can just farm to an extreme pace. You can really get in the Hecarim's face and just start to become this massive threat in the later stages. So, interesting to see, something we haven't seen very much this season at all in this Grave jungle.
Yeah, Graves jungle. I mean, it's something that Kanavi was really, really good at, right? When you think back to Kanavi's peak in 2020, it was all about this Graves jungle. It was the Graves, it was the Kindred, it was the Nidalee. These picks that want to farm like crazy and take over the game through just being insanely strong, having that massive ball of stats. And Kanavi certainly very proficient when it comes to that champion. And also, kind of a similar early game to Hecarim, right? Where not as good at ganking the lanes, but you can power clear your jungle just as well as a Hecarim can.
For sure. And again, if you get the momentum on Graves, like, the thing is with the Hecarim is he's going to be building tank, is what we've seen mostly, right? And obviously getting an early chem tank does speed up your clear, but compare that to a Graves. If he gets ahead, and this is what they're starting to look for already, stealing away this blue buff, if you find momentum on this pick, you will just murder camps. And honestly, he's so focused on denying Sean, and this is something that we saw when Hecarim was really in the meta before, is that you can invade him. No flash means he's very vulnerable to things like this.
And, you know, shotgun historically does counter the horse, but it's going to be a blast cone, and he's jumped into the rest of the team. Kanavi smites the blue buff. Shun has been found out. Missing soloing the blue buff, and Shun just flies into his own demise. Oh, that is absolutely tragic for Shun.
That's comical, honestly. Like, you can see the thought process. He got the smite. He's like, I'm level 2 against the Graves. I mean, they must have, to a degree, known what was going on, but I don't think he expected to fly over the wall. Blue buff was in smite range. Like, they'd set it up to be exactly in smite range. It's secured by Kanavi. He hits level 2, and then instantly they just delete the horse. And as you said, shotgun effective against the horse, but also the lack of flash for Shun just meant there was no way he was getting out once he committed.
Yeah, that is rough. And you gotta say, that is mega 5-head from the side of JDG. Setting it up so the blue buff was in smite range. That is just so insane.
It's such a weird strategy as well. I'm really wondering how much they've had an opportunity to practice something like this in scrims, or whether this is just spare of the moment, why not? But yeah, like, you can see, obviously, Shun's like, I'm level 2, I'm beating him up over the wall, and it's perfectly in smite range. It's comical, right? And the emotes come out as well.
Oh, my days. Oh, Shun is not going to have a fun game, is he? Over to his crux he goes. But look, Kanavi still has pretty much his entire jungle to clear. He's going to go for the Scuttle Crab here.
He can probably potentially even look for a double Scuttle. I think actually Yuekai's moving down. No, he's just putting a ward down, but maybe won't cross over the mid lane and give over his position. But as you said, yeah, he's got so many camps to clear through his own jungle. Really easy way to build up a lead. And as I was saying before, if you get a lead in the Graves, it makes you clear faster. You're just going to speed through these camps at a rapid pace.
And I have to say, like, after last game, I was starting to think, Lucas takes some pretty heavy chunks here. Wink going to be forced to wait as well. Hope really doing some work on this Jinx. He stacked his tempo, and they know about it.
I don't know if you saw that, but missing Dredge Line as Lucas was in the air on his Zenith Blade and interrupted. That was actually really slick. Little interaction. Don't see, you often see like Thresh interrupt his Zenith Blade, but you don't often see it on a Nautilus nearly as much. But
yeah,
either way, Sean will be able to get that bot side scuttle, so it's something. But now, like, you look to his jungle, his wolves has respawned, but there's still a red and those Krugs available for Kanavi. Definitely favorable. 10 CS up so far.
Mate, it's a 600 gold difference between the jungles. Like, that is not a lead that you often see, especially in the jungle role this early on in the game. So Shun gonna be having a really hard time of it in this early game. And Kanavi, the beautiful thing about this Graves pick is he doesn't actually have any pressure on him to like translate this lead super hard into the lanes or anything like that. He's playing Graves. He could just power farm and go for invades.
Literally, yeah. And anytime he gets an opportunity to steal away camps, he can just take it. Obviously, he can lean into neutral objectives as well. It really is a matchup that will just become problematic if he's left alone. And now the burden will be on IG. And I think the big thing is they have this Twisted Fate, right? So when level 6 is hit by Yuekai, that's where we might see some recourse. For now, Shun is kind of just farming up, trying to make sure he doesn't fall too far behind. But that is what I'm looking for, the Destiny and how much value they can get off the back of it. Now, obviously, drafting this Twisted Fate gives you that global tool that we saw pretty effectively used by the Rise for Yagao in that game 1.
So Kanavi just going to go for the Drake here. Knows that Shun is up on the top side right now. Knows that he has the advantage. Already has a Saray in his pocket. So happy to just start this one off. And on the Graves, you're very good at just dealing with Drake anyway, as that's going to be a Shadow Surge in the mid lane, and Yuekai has to flash away. Yagao in trouble now, though, as Shun goes for the aggression. But Missing is here to protect his mid laner. And I love this from Yagao. We're getting to see the aggression. Yagao knows he's a good mid laner, and he's starting to prove it.
And the only unfortunate thing there was his W wasn't available, the personal space. That is the combo that's sort of unavoidable. You ult in, you press W, but because Yuekai was able to dodge away from the skill shot, doesn't get feared, and it doesn't end up going down. Even so, though, positivity in the mid lane for JDG. 369, not having the most fun in the top lane, but it's a Gragas, right? You can clear waves effectively. You're hard to dive. He's kind of fine here, but Sean will take this opportunity to steal the camp, and I don't think he goes for this, right? You know Kanavi's nearby, and also the Gragas is a hard dive.
Oh, no! 369! I thought he'd found the opportunity and he botches it. Oh, it's a disaster.
Man, that was painful.
Oh.
I don't even know how to... Yeah.
It looked so good. It looked so good for a second. I thought that was it. I thought that was like, oh my god, he's made the outplay. Nah, he's outplayed himself.
Yeah. I mean, Graves is a slim... not Graves. Jayce is a slim hitbox. What can I say?
He does. It's, yeah, no. He's a guy in good shape. Let's just say that. It's a what is it? BMI difference in the top lane right now.
Are they gonna really replay this? Oh my god.
Oh no.
It's just over. Maybe. No, I can't even justify that because I think like maybe he's thinking if he flashes, like he's like if there's a delay and he flashes, but even then it would have just knocked him away. Just yeah. And now ult comes in, gonna punish.
Yeah, 369. Gonna try and do what he can, but nobody's even tanking the tower. Excellent done by IG. Beautiful stuff. Punishing the lack of flash. Now maybe
like a Volt as well. Yeah. You know, honestly, 369, you kind of deserve that. That's you kind of
punishing the lack of will to live.
But it's a positive from IG, right? We're seeing them use the Destiny effectively, especially leaning it into the Jayce. Sorry, seen the Mega Death Rocket. I'm not gonna comment on it because the spoilers.
Oh, it's getting giggly now.
You know what I'm thinking of. The spoilers. I can't comment on it, but seeing the super Mega Death Rocket fly over towards Jayce. Regardless, IG using the Destiny effectively to try and snowball things, punishing 369, getting gold on the Jayce, all positive things. And now they are looking for this Herald. We'll see if JDG contest them. They should know this is going on because the Scuttle has given that vision.
All right. IG currently slightly up in gold. Yagao walks straight into the open arms of the entire squad. And well, that will be Herald won by IG, I would imagine. TP on cooldown for Yagao, so there's no way he can rejoin the fight. 369 walking dangerously close. But the rest of JDG are here. They want a 4v5, start things off onto Lucas. They almost find kill, and the barrel goes through. You know, massive damage, and actually JDG are winning this one out. So
yeah,
gets
low
a shot blast.
Shock Blast doesn't connect. Low health bars as well. Super threatening if they were to continue. And a good cast from 369, making up the subpar one we saw before. The Herald will reset, but Kanavi's going to head over, be able to pick that one up. I just love the snap engages to instantly punish a Leona. It's one of the things, right? You're used to this Leona being borderline immortal with Aftershock. It's such a massive difference when you don't have it available. She goes down far quicker, and JDG look to capitalize.
Kanavi happy to just finish this one off by himself. Let's take another look, because remember, this was 4v5 from JDG. Yagao gets caught before anything happens.
Yeah, so instantly take him off the map. But there's like a critical few things. One, they've committed a fair bit of resources, you know, like the Onslaught of Shadows and the ultimate Aphelios. And then they just, like, look how quickly this Leona ends up going down. And this cask as well.
Yeah.
Super impactful combo in Kanavi's damage. So just instantly dissuades them. And now they do have the Herald in pocket, so JDG potentially going to be able to use that to capitalize. And I actually feel like mid would be a decent shout, but it looks like they're leaning top. Goodbye, Zika.
Yeah, Zika in a 1v4 under the tower, missing. Happy to tank is 369. It's going to be the one taking a couple of those tower shots, but Hope is here. And the Herald is in the pocket of Kanavi if they want to just brute force and finish that tower off. Well, that happens is a different question. Red Buff being taken on the bottom side by Shun in the meantime. As Wink moving closer to that bottom lane tower, they want to try and get some plates of themselves. As IG can't afford to just lose out on gold. Yagao is in trouble though. 3 men in the mid lane. Stun after fear after stun. See you later, Yagao.
Yeah, definitely got to play the game there. I will say Yagao had flash, could have just flashed out of the solar flare, and it would have made that scenario a lot trickier. But either way, does go down, and now IG, they get that kill. They got some plates bot, they got some plates mid, but
oh, flash from 369, but it's answered by a flash from Wink. 369 can't quite line up the combo. These casts have been hit or miss so far. We've had 2 that have been not so great, 1 that's been really, really great. So 369, we'll keep an eye on that.
In fairness to that one, you know, you do get Aphelios' flash, which is valuable, and I feel like, you know, it's kind of hard to, if he has the flash available, it's kind of hard to not have that scenario happen, right? You can layer it a bit better. Even so, I feel like this one kind of gets a pass. Not nearly as bad as the earlier one where he just completely whipped it.
So let's take another look at the scoreboard, right? Because Kanavi right now, 3 kills in his pocket. He's almost 2,000 gold up in the jungle. Now that gold difference has been made up elsewhere on the map in favor of IG, and it means that the gold overall is actually relatively even, but that the jungle difference alone is going to be huge in some of these fights, because it is also translated into, I'd imagine, a bit of an XP advantage. You'd expect Kanavi to hit that level 9 before Shun. And when it comes to fighting over Drakes, when it comes to fighting over these neutrals later on in the game, it's going to be a big advantage for Kanavi. In the meantime, though, Hope getting tower plate after tower plate. Already got that top tower for himself, and now getting 2 plates to the bottom side.
Yeah, a lot of plates being picked up here. Obviously, a lot of goals from the top lane, but that was shared with Kanavi, which is why Kanavi is so far ahead. But you see the fact that, you know, often we see teams trade on sides where one team will have their AD carry get ahead, for example. The other team will, like, it'll be a bit more mixed, or maybe they get the top laner ahead. Both Kanavi and Hope are extremely strong right now, so very scary. This is a bit of a precarious play that you can see IG are kind of grouping up to collapse on this.
Here we go. Kanavi gets the blue buff at what cost? Onslaught Shadows through the team, and Hope pulled into everyone. Solar Flare is beautiful too, and IG have found the fight they've been looking for all game. Good cast from 369 to escape.
Oh my god, he just cast him straight into missing. That was hilarious. That
I mean,
so funny.
In 369's defense, I'm pretty sure missing was doomed there. He was just trying to save himself.
He probably was, but it's still funny. Right? That's all I'm saying. But that is like the perfect storm for IG, right? We said they have this great engage potential, the great dive. And it's just an overstep from JDG, especially considering it's the Infernal map. It's so easy to move through this terrain. The chompers from Jinx only stopping Zika, not doing too much else. They just dive forward, keep the momentum. And I just want to read. Yeah, I'm not saying it was a bad play, but look, just get the character.
It's like as he locks the gold card as well. Takes the 369 Express all the way to missing. It's beautiful to see. Well, IG are doing okay, Orcs. IG have got themselves a nice little lead in this one. 1,500 gold. It ain't over yet. But with fights like that, it might not last that much longer from JDG.
And I think it's IG's composition is showing the strength in its ability to pick fights very effectively. The Destiny coming in, the ult charging down from Shun. I just really like the way that they're able to play out these team fights. And, you know, JDG, they kind of need some space. They need those resets we're talking about. We need Hope to be able to free fire for at least a little bit. And the one constellation prize is he still does have that flash available. Didn't really have an opportunity to use it in the last one, I believe. I don't think he had it up. I think he did have it up there, but didn't get an opportunity. I can't quite remember though, but regardless, that still means they have a tool to play around with, right? When we get to this next team fight for the Dragon, I assume he has an ability to just get himself out of a precarious situation, and that could be the difference maker.
And I really feel like this game, it's Kanavi versus the world, right? Look at this focus right now. It's so much weight on Kanavi's shoulders. And he's just going fully lethality too. He's not bothered. He's not worried about scaling. He's worried about getting back in the game right now. Jinx can deal with the scaling, you know? 369 can be that big front line. He'll scale pretty decently well as Yagao in the mid lane. And Yuekai using the Destiny to try and keep himself safe, but that's a depth charge over the wall. Can 369 follow it up? There's the slow. Everfrost though answers. No. 369 decides not to pull the trigger, and honestly, I'm glad. I'd rather he just doesn't than gets another whiff.
Yep. Still has the tool in the pocket to use, but you can see so much pressure being put down. Zuka's been slowly building up a substantial lead on the back of this game, and he is hard to deal with in the side lane for anyone on the side of JDG, and they've also put some pressure down mid. IG will just back away in this situation, stealing away the red buff, getting that bot lane tier 2, all big advantages. And it's because JDG leaned topside, didn't find a successful player, now 4,000 cooldown.
Can we kind of mentally reset for a second here? What happened? Because it felt like JDG were in charge earlier on in the game, and slowly but surely IG have taken over, and now it feels like JDG really can't contest IG in this. How do we get here?
Well, I think IG's comp is really good at just picking fights, right? So any scenario, you have to be really cautious for JDG of overstepping. Hecarim, Leona, TF, all really good at just being like, we want to fight now. And that overcommit for the blue buff we had in that team fight, it gave such a massive gold influx from the side of IG. And now, as soon as they feel in control, it's so scary for JDG, right? Because anytime someone steps up, you never know when the Destiny's going to come down, when a Hecarim's going to charge you. And especially when you get to this mid-game point, TF has nearly got the rapid fire cannon, that 2-item spike. If you walk up, there's like such a large range where if you're within that of the TF, you will just die, right?
Oh, that's going to be Lucas getting caught here. Does have the Eclipse.
Oh my god,
369 is just not having a good time. He's just not having a good time this game. These ults.
I was ready to praise him because he held it for so long. I'm like, he's holding it for the flash. This is really, and then he just completely whips it. I'm like, what is the point?
Aux is actually getting furious. Turns out Aux, secretly part of the JDG coaching staff. He's livid at 369 right now. Here we go. Destiny onto the team. Hope flashes straight into the fear, but he's okay. Had the cleanse. And Shun on the front line, actually taking a lot of damage himself. Rocket comes through, collateral damage. Hope now getting chased down by Zika, who just one-shots him. And the rest of the squad has been wiped by IG. 369 just has to flee at this point. And Kanavi just can't do enough to win these fights. And the rest of IG all on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that instant. As soon as they see the window of the fight, they go for it. And honestly, I'm going to say it again. The Infernal Soul map really favoring IG because we'll get a replay of that. And you can sort of see how the traps from Jinx, if they had the, you know, the wall around the blue buff still there, could have done a much better job of zoning off. But all of IG is just so effective at just funneling through and charging them down. That's kind of the situation here. So you do see the traps from Jinx actually do a decent amount of zoning, but they can just fire through, right? And then they get thrown down. They can just walk around over the top of there, find their way in, and then we see Zika just fly in and obliterate Hope. No way of outplaying that one.
Hope this one, he had to use so much just to try and survive, and still he didn't. Lucas tanking up on the front line as he pushes forward to get vision. 3 minutes until the next Infernal Drake, which would be Soul Point if IG are able to get it for themselves, but also Baron up in 1:30, and the lead that IG have, if they can position correctly, if they've got an Aphelios, they've got a Jayce, they can take a Baron pretty damn quick.
Honestly, they just need to control the area and fish for picks. It's so easy to do. Again, we talked about it before the Hecarim, but now we have a 2-item spike for Twisted Fate, stopwatch as well. So if he goes in deep, you can stun guard, you can stopwatch, buy some time. Do you see the Herald getting thrown down by JDG? And that won't be enough to kill a tower outright. So IG should be able to move in and defend this.
stepping forwards as well. A couple of autos from Hope as a rocket for Poke. I feel like Hope just using his ult basically on cooldown this game. 369 zips out on the top side as well. JDG, bit of damage onto the tower, but not going to be able to finish it off, at least for now. 369 staying for the honey fruit. Bit off. It might have bitten off more than he can chew, though. We'll walk away.
And I'm worried a bit, right, for JDG, because Dragon in 2 minutes, and it is that Infernal Soul. And Infernal Soul with this team is kind of nuts, especially the Jayce. And if you look at the Jayce items, clips, you have the Murmana nearly stacked up, 12 stacks away, and he has that Dirk as well. This is prime time for IG on that Dragon. I feel like it's one of those situations where JDG will fight the Dragon. They kind of know that they have to. Just giving away Infernal Soul point makes it very difficult to contest that last one.
Shun is in a little bit of... Oh, no! Shun! I think he's okay. I think he'll get out with this one. He is Hecarim. He's real quick, but my goodness. Oh, no. It was all a bait. The cheeky blast cone bait. He's a genius. Hope now trying to get damage on the top side of the fight. Shadow Surge going to come in onto Shun as they need to protect Hope. Shun goes down. Now onto Zika as well. That's a shutdown going the way of 369. Yuekai steps on forward. Lucas trying to lock them up. Keep your eyes on Hope, though. He's already gone. Wink now charging forward. Yagao falls as a triple for Wink. He re-enters the LPL, and he makes it happen for IG.
And honestly, the bot side for IG really clutching it in that fight. It felt a bit disconnected with this 3-man. The Aphelios is there with the damage. Lucas and Yuekai there with the CC. They close that one out, and they won't really be able to do that Baron. I think they should just go for a reset now for the Dragon, but still another teamfight win. And now Wink 6-0-4 on this Aphelios. A lot of gold in pocket to spend before this Dragon fight.
Yeah, finally we get to see Wink having a bit of space to make plays himself. He was dived at like the 4-minute mark in game number 1. Game number 2, though, it's been a totally different story. And now with a 7,000 gold lead, IG completely in control of this game. But Drake up in 10 seconds, Kanavi moving straight on over.
Yeah, but they'll get vision down. They know that they have a bit of a timer because of the reset from IG were late. I just think this is so hard to contest, right? You really need like a miracle ult from Yagao to connect on a wing.
They're going to look for a pick. They're going to look for a flash hook from missing. It's not going to happen.
Like IG playing it slow, going the safe route. They are so far ahead right now, and they have all the tools to start a fight on their terms.
Do IG in position, posturing for the Drake. Taking a little bit of damage from it. As Hope moves in, clears some of the vision. JDG actually really good vision control of the area, but it doesn't matter because IG are stood there so they can see. There's 369. There goes half of his HP. Destiny now going to be used. It's a 50-50 on the Drake. Who gets the smite? It's Zika of all people. And now the team fight to ensue. It's 2 for 1 is missing. Chunked out, forced to flash. And Wink still absolutely massive on this one.
Oh,
Kanavi left alone to flee with his tail between his legs. And Yuekai will finish off missing as well. 4 for 1 as IG demolished JDG.
Absolutely crushed them. And Kanavi's going to look for Zika here, but I don't think you find him. I feel like they can just head towards the Baron, potentially set up for it. When Shun respawns, they can definitely look to just capitalize on that. It's like they're not going to go for it right now. They will just clear up some jungle camps, but still more and more golden pocket. Look at Yuekai, by the way, 20 stack Medjais available. We're going to replay of this fight. So I love the TF ult here to go for the flank behind. Watch Hope and what happens to him in this situation, right? Gets ulted by the Hecarim, cleanses, stun card, Leona. Nothing you can do. This Jinx is not having a good time.
Yeah, that solar flare really nicely done there as well. I mean, that damage onto Yagao is something else, man. I feel like the damage in League of Legends right now is just off the charts. It's so insane. Everyone just gets one shot. 17-7 in favor of IG. 3 Drakes in their pocket. 3.5 minutes till the next one comes up. But it's almost a 10,000 lead at this point. Baron on the map with an Aphelios that's this strong as well. A 20-stack Medjais for Yuekai in the mid lane as well. Like, look at the item difference in the mid lane. Look at what Yagao has, just the Ludens and boots. And then you look across the board, 20-stack Medjais, boots, rapid fire cannon, and an Everfrost with a stopwatch on top of that. Why not? Feels like Yuekai, I mean, he's immortal.
Yeah, it feels really painful in the Aphelios. 3 items with that Infinity Edge and double Infernal for the extra AD. Well, you know.
Okay. Maybe an opportunity for JDG here. I don't know how this happened, but Wink got caught. Yuekai is going to go down here. That's 2 massive shutdowns. Gifted over to JDG, and missing once a little more, but we'll just go slightly wide on the hook there. But now JDG, they can go towards the Baron.
This is kind of what we were talking about, was the pick potential, right, off this Vex. Being able to catch out Wing can be absolutely massive. And now they got him. They got Yuekai as well. They have a small window before the TF respawns the Destiny to do this. But it's so scary. The poke from Jayce, they need to just kill him as soon as possible.
They can't 50-50, but they can get a fear. Zika forced to flash away as they go straight onto Lucas and should just be able to burn this tank down. Missing survives. It's another pick inside of JDG. They'll walk away. They can't get the Baron. They at least get a little bit more gold.
Yeah, they get a fair bit of gold, shut down all the Magi stacks. They also burn the stopwatch from Yuekai, but they kind of knew they couldn't finish that Baron, right? Sean could easily just contest it, and also Zika had so much poke. We will get the replay to see what happened, and this is kind of, you know, this is the potential you have with the Vex. There's no cleanse on this Aphelios. Once that ult hits, you're basically just dead, and then Yuekai ends up in a similarly unfortunate situation there with no flash.
Yuekai stuck there, and again, 2 massive bounties taken. We were on an 8,000 gold difference before. It's now down to just 5,000. That is a crazy swing. That's a 3,000 gold swing in favor of JDG. They are still behind in this game, but significantly less behind than they were before. These are nice little influx of gold for Hope as well, because look, 3 items now.
Yeah, I mean, before he was like a whole item down. He just had a pickaxe with the IE, and clearly got so much from those shutdowns. Able to finish it off. That's actually a big difference maker. Now, again, I'm not going to sell you another way. IG still massively ahead. They still have great tools to engage, and 1 minute 15 until that Infernal Soul potentially on the cards for them. But JDG, we're finally seeing some life in this game.
So we've got a Drake fight that's going to happen in a minute, almost certainly. What are we looking out for? How does JDG win that fight? How do they keep themselves in the game?
I think there's 2 potentials. One, you get Yagao landing his ult onto Wink and just deleting him, right? That's instantly a way that they can start to snowball the fight. The second one is Hope survives the engage. It's hard because like every fight we've had so far, he's just been eviscerated. But if he starts to ramp up, get some resets, he has a 3-item Jinx now, there is potential for him to carry.
JDG grouping up in the mid lane. Massive damage coming through though. They just don't have the sustain for this. 30 seconds on the Drake, and right now, IG are just saying, look, you know what, guys? Have the Drake. If you commit to that one, we're just going to take the Baron instead.
Yeah, and they clear out the vision, which makes it really precarious. We do have the blue trinket for Hope. Check. You can see already they're setting up the engage.
Nautilus on the front line, missing. Still half his HP gone at this point as they're just trying to clear this wave. Going to be able to do so. 4-man fear comes out from Yagao. Is there any follow-up though? Lucas pulled back into the fray and Hope finishes him off. Solar Flare used just before he went down there. A lot of ultis burnt from the side of JDG, but hey, a pick is a pick.
Really nicely played by Yagao. Connects it and gets the 4-man fear. Yes, Wink survives with a Gale Force flash, but it's enough to get a dragon. The concern now though, this Baron's going down fairly fast. They need to get there ASAP.
This is so risky from IG, though. Destiny going to come on through. They're trying to get into the pit. Missing knows what's up. He's going to try and stop this from happening. Shun is actually 1 HP, has to smite early, and now he'll go down as well. The zap goes wide. That's 2 kills for Hope, and they're looking for a third. Yuekai pulled on in. Hope, if he wasn't big enough yet, he certainly is now. That's the triple, as Hope is alive for JDG.
And that's the thing, is they get the Baron, but they lose so many of the buffs. I think it's only Zika who still actually has it. Look how much gold Hope is able to get in his pocket. 9 and 4 now on this Jinx, and they deny the Infernal Soul. Baron is temporary, but the dragons are permanent. And JDG was a bit precarious, but they handled that one perfectly.
And oh my days, I cannot believe JDG might actually come back in this one. But watch Shun's health bar here. He's so close to just dying to the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a flip. He actually smites early to heal, and then it's Zika who actually secures it. He just goes down, no way getting over the pit without the ultimate. They chase down, and yeah, there's a nice turnaround kill from Yuekai. But that Medjai's gonna have pretty much no pages left after this one, and Hope is constantly the recipient of all these kills. Yeah, you can see it. Yuekai, 4 stacks left on that Medjai's. Quite a downturn.
You know, we were talking about the item difference in the mid lane before. When the Medjai's has 20 stacks, that's a big scary difference. But with rapid fire cannon and a Medjai's with no stacks, the items are basically even in that mid lane now. So it's a totally different shape of the game. And Wink versus Hope as well. Hope's actually starting to build a lead for himself at this stage. He's almost finished a Bloodthirster as IG, though, with this Baron buff. Even if you only have 2 Baron buffs, you just need 1 wave. They're barreling down this mid lane. JDG are off on the wrong side of the map right now. There's only 4 of them here. Hope just recalling. Inhib will survive, though.
There's the ult.
It's JDG. They're not going to find a way in.
Yeah, they try and connect the ult, but just a little bit too fast at disengaging. JDG kind of mishandled that one. They commit to the side lane, and the fast push from IG will secure the tier 3 in the mid lane. But still, they managed to hold on. They don't lose that inhibitor. Now they need to move up top to try and defend that. But the big thing is, with that Vex ultimate on cooldown, that's one of the biggest threats to the backline, right? That's how they find these angles in onto Wing. But still, not even half of the cooldown left available. But I think IG playing it safe here won't overstay their welcome.
And Hope, the man of the hour for JDG, it has to be said. He has stepped up massively in this game without his team fighting. I know, right? He is the hope for JDG in more ways than one, because when you look earlier on in this game, we were praising Wink for this Aphelios performance. He was looking immaculate. He was so far ahead. Now actually behind in items. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, and it's really been those shutdowns. And this is kind of the thing at the moment. You know, we talk about the sort of teleports changes, meaning these scaling AD carries aren't punished as much in lane, but it's also the objective bounties. Even if a team's behind, if you pick up objective bounties and all those gold bounties from champions, it's so easy just to slingshot in the other direction. And Hope has managed to capitalize on a lot of those, and now is incredibly strong. The thing with cleanse in pocket, that's the thing, is like the CC is such a problem. But what was happening before is Hope would cleanse the CC, but just die to the damage. The Bloodthirster in pocket, it actually becomes so much harder to kill this Jinx, because you have that shield up on you at the start of the fight. And if it gets like an auto up, it can give you so much health in return. There's no grievous wounds currently available to the side of IG other than the ignite from Lucas, so it's getting more and more difficult. And really for IG, praise their engaged potential and the composition before. They have to kill Hope. He must die if they want to win the fights.
And we are starting to get to the point in the game as well where this Twisted Fate, not really a team fighting champion, right? You need to be looking for these picks around the Drake. Speaking of the Drake, it's up in a minute's time. This would be Infernal Soul for IG if they can get it. It feels like a big if at this point, despite them having a 5,000 gold lead. It still feels like JDG are the ones currently in control. 45 seconds on that Drake. And now I want to flip things around. What do IG do? How do they regain control of this?
I think flanks are obviously going to be a pretty big threat if they can get the Hecarim on an angle and there's nowhere for Hope to flash away from, but also poke from Zika. It's not that effective against Hope with the Bloodthirster now. Oh, they're looking for the gauge.
Oh no, Lucas is caught in the Flame Chompers. They're not going to follow up as Shunt is forced away. Gale forced forwards. The rocket is there and Hope finds it, but Wick turns it around. Now JDG 3 men strong. 3v3 in this fight actually, as Yagao needs to be the carry. Destiny in his 369 to try and body block for his mid laner. Yagao survives. 369 gets the shield, dashes away, keeps himself safe. Yuekai chases with the gold card. Wild card's in to finish the kill. IG find 3. It's a 2 for 3, and IG come up trumps.
It looked like a disaster at the start, but Wink, what a carry performance there. That is the boldest thing I have seen this split, I feel. Just dashes into nuke Hope, trades his life. That's enough, right? You'll see Yagao potentially looking to steal this one away.
There's no smite on either side. Yagao needs to make the miracle happen, but he's engaged upon, gets a fear, gets the shield, but the Drake is going to go down in the meantime. Yagao, he gets a kill, but it's Infernal Soul for IG.
Infernal Soul huge, and again, they will have that for the rest of the game. That extra damage, that extra burst potential. We'll get the replay. I just want to focus in on Wink. This looks like it's going bad, right? Shun completely misses the ultimate. Lucas is already chunked, and then Wink just goes full, dashes in and nukes them with the ultimate. Obliterates Hope here. What a bold play.
The damage was just mental as well coming out from Wing. Absolutely demolished them. And then the follow-up as well. Really nicely played by IG here.
Yeah, really well played. But honestly, that was like such a small window to capitalize on, because the thing is, if the Jinx can heal up, if the Jinx can stay at range, ramp up with a lethal tempo, very hard to deal. You need that burst, and Wink, one of the few people who can just absolutely nuke it given the opportunity, but such a rare chance that was capitalized on. And now they're starting the Baron. This is feeling a bit desperate, right? It feels Soul in IG's hand.
It's a 50-50. It's a 50-50. Kanavi has not won a smite fight all series long. Oh wait, Shund actually just used to stopwatch by accident. Yagao misses ult though. JDG. Oh, they get the Baron. Collateral damage gets it. Zuka's gone down as well. Now the fight. Keep your eyes on Wink. He one-shots Yagao. He turns straight on towards Kanavi as well. Wink has to make it happen. His first series back, and he saves IG.
Triple kill. We see JDG get the Baron, but they won't win the fight. This Aphelios, we saw him fall off in the mid game, but Wink is here to make a statement. Doubters are quiet now. Wink delivers when it counts.
He certainly does. The TP from Yuekai on the bottom side as well. They've got a minion wave. They want to just end the game. It's 20 seconds on the death timers. Aphelios with a crescendum. That's plenty of damage to be working with. Wink drops the turret. They should be able to just end the game right here and now with the cannon there. It's all said and done. 26-19 as IG find a way to game 3.
Man, what a chaotic game. And it really felt right. The start of the game was all in favor of IG, and then we saw that momentum